implement these things, because one very strong reason why you are into business is for what? I didn't hear. Profit. You are raising chicken not because you want the chickens to be your pets. Am I correct? You don't keep chicken as pet. No matter what, one day the chicken will enter pot. No be so. Yes. Because you are interested in profit, today you need to understand what are those things that can help me to make more profit, and what are those things that can steal my profit. How do I prevent these things? We are going to see this all together, and that's why we are here. Now, one of the things I also do from time to time, I try to see how farmers fare in some basic things on their farms. Some of us, over the years, you've been into this practice, maybe over 10 years in poultry farming. Can somebody here explain to me or explain to us how he or she administers Lasota? Maybe you have like 1,000 birds you want to vaccinate with Lasota. Can somebody just maybe one person, if you can volunteer? Something as simple as giving Lasota, you will be amazed that so many people do not understand it. And the ignorance of that has led to a lot of problems on farm. Can anybody? Don't feel shy. Don't feel shy. You may not understand where I'm going. Okay, sir. Okay, 2 people have indicated. The man in specs. Yes. Your name, sir. Start with your name. May we know you? Yes.
My name is Alo Cosmos. I'm from Sudan, Uji local government, Enugu State.
Okay, sir.
It depends, like the capacity. You know, we have 100, we have 200, we have 500, we have 1,000.
Yes.
Yeah. So assuming now for 1,000 doses, assuming for maybe 1,000 beds, like the way I used to.
Yes.
You know, when they are small for the first stage, you know, they are not taking water much.
Okay.
So I normally, like 1,000 beds, about that 1,000 doses with 20 liters of water, going straight to maybe the service provider, like the outlet veterinary doctors, to pick the Lasota. Then,
at what age are you describing this now?
Yeah, that's this. I normally give Lasota. I combine Lasota Gomboro for the first time, 8 days.
Why combining Lasota and Gomboro? You can see some people are saying,
Yes.
You understand? Now, sorry, before you go further, you may say, why is he doing that? He will tell you, it doesn't give me any problem. Isn't it? The truth, sir, is that you may not have any problem now, but apply wisdom and avoid what can trigger problem. Continue.
Okay. That's picking it from with the temperature value of maybe about 0%. I can say because it should not be less than. Then they have to wrap it.
Okay.
Then with a cooler.
Yes.
To maintain the temperature.
Okay.
Just about 5 minutes drive from where I'm picking it to the production farm.
Okay.
Just like that. We add to there's a normal ambient temperature of water, about 20 degrees centigrade.
Okay.
Dissolve the basin there and start distributing.
Now, for the 1,000 birds, you've not told me the volume of water you are going to.
That's like I'm buying 1,000 doses capacity of a basin.
Yes.
With 20 liters of water.
Okay, so if there are layers, are you still going to use 20 liters?
Well, I cannot answer for layers because I'm.
Okay, you tried. Please, let's clap for him. Now, because you answered my question, sir, please let me give him something for pure water. Thank you, sir. Okay, this is for your pure water. There was a second person. Can you, yes, quickly let us have an idea. Then I will now start speaking. Can somebody give him a microphone?
My name is Igwebiko Okonkwo. I'm from Anambra State.
Okay.
The pests I'm taking care of is layers.
Okay.
They are about 5,060 something.
Okay.
Then the way I minister this lasota to them is that when I buy 2,005 does.
Okay.
Two.
Okay. That's 5,000.
5,000.
Okay.
Yeah. And 1,000 does.
Extra.
Extra. Yeah.
Okay.
Then I preserve it with ice block.
Okay.
Then I apply it with 200 liters of water.
200 liters.
Like 2,005 does.
Yes.
With 200 liters of water.
Okay.
You
That means for the 5,000, you will need 400 liters.
Yes.
Okay.
For the 5,000, I use what I use is I use 6,000 for 400 liters of water.
Okay. Yes.
6,000 does.
Yes, I understand.
For 400 liters of water.
Yes.
And that is how I used to do it.
Okay.
Then in occasion, I do it once in a month.
Okay.
And some weather like now,
yeah,
I apply it once in 2 weeks.
Why?
Yeah, the thing is that it's an idea gotten from somebody.
Thank you very much. Look, clap for him. Let us drop something for him also. At least he listened and he answered my question. Ladies and gentlemen, I will quickly share something with you before I go into my main presentation. Over the years, I've found out that there are a lot of things that happen with the administration of Lasota. And because of some of these errors that people make, they run into crisis. I know a particular farm somewhere in Oshogbo, they decided to change their vaccination program for reasons best known to them. And within a period of 6 weeks, they lost broilers worth about 25 million naira. That was in 2008. You can imagine the value of what they lost if you compare with what it is now. When I started investigating, I found out that there were errors in the vaccination. What happened? They started losing their birds heavily. I started having high mortalities. One day I asked one of the supervisors in Yoruba, only 4,000. That is how many chickens died today. He said 4,000. Now 4,000 broilers dropping dead in one day. It was so bad that they had to lock up everything on that farm at some time. The slaughterhouse, the processing plant, they had to shut everything down. All because they had issues with the way they were administering their Lasota. I checked the potency of the Lasota. I found out that the strength of the Lasota vaccine was still okay. But the way they administered it was wrong. And then we now collected blood samples from various ages of the broilers and found out that they did not respond to the vaccination. Potency of vaccine is okay, but response was poor. What happened in between? At some point, they felt that, look, if we raise our broilers, we get them from the hatchery, we just give them oil vaccine, 0.2, just once. And then we now begin to spray Lasota. Not giving it in water, we spray the Lasota once and leave them like that they will be covered. By the time the birds are approaching 6 weeks, explosion will start, mortality. It got so bad that they now realized that for each set of birds they were placing, they were not even reaching up to 6 weeks. Mortality started again from 5 weeks, from 4 weeks of age. It kept moving backward. And the MD of that farm told me, doctor, I think the way the thing is happening, if the mortality continues that way, it means that by the time it comes down to 2 weeks that it starts, it will now fizzle out. I say it will never fizzle out. What is happening is that the pressure of the feed virus is increasing on your farm. Birds will not reach 6 weeks before it starts killing them like before. It came to 5, it came to 4, and it's coming down. It tells you that there's a lot of problem. And I asked him a question. Do you have disinfectant on your farm? He said no. A multi-million naira investment. No single drop of disinfectant. I had to go and get a carton of Discol on credit and pleaded with them to give me so that I can give this big MD of a farm to take to his farm in Oshogbo because he was careless with his with the biosecurity. He was careless with the vaccination, and he was reaping what he had sown. Ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be sharing some very important facts with us, and I want us to be attentive. Avoid what can kill your profit. I'm speaking on improving profitability in livestock farming. That particular farm I talked about in Oshogbo, we eventually controlled the problem, but the losses was too much. It was because of their carelessness. We'll be looking at a few things. One, the introduction. We'll look at several ways of ensuring profit in poultry business. We'll also look at the issues of records and measuring performance against standards. We'll look at important facts for profit in broiler farming, economics of broiler farming, important facts for profitability in pullet rearing and layer production, and then we'll look at the killers of profitability in poultry business. Then we'll look at the economics of pig farming. Now, you will agree with me today that one way or the other, as a poultry farmer, you are affected by some of the things I've listed here. A lot of challenges. And one of the things I remember, Robert Schuller wrote a book. He said what? Tough times. But only who? Only the tough people. Are you following me? We want you people to be tough. We want you to be strong. And that's why we want to open up so many things to you that will help you. Yes, we know that there's high cost of feed raw materials and finished feed, high cost of day-old chicks. I was communicating with somebody, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? In Jos, one of the hatcheries there, the broiler sells for nothing less than 630 naira. I don't know how much. How much are you buying broiler here now? 700. Don't be smart, you know. About a month ago, it was like that in Jos. You know, that means we're even enjoying in Jos. Okay, how much is a crate of egg here in Enugu? 1,750. Honestly, you people are enjoying here. In Jos, the Yankaji people have forced farmers to bring the price of eggs down to as low as 1.5. Is that bad? And the price of feed has not come down. So you can see what people are facing in Jos is different from what you are facing here. Increasing cost of vaccines, drugs, and disinfectants. These are some of the issues we are seeing. Hello? Let me say something. If you have never experienced it before, I'm praying you should not experience it. Where somebody will produce feed and we use premix that he never knew was fake premix. Hello? I know a farm somewhere in Ijebu-Ode. They started having crisis. Their production was nosediving. In the first pen, they used to have about 222 crates of eggs per day. As at the time I got there, it had reduced to about 55 crates. And with all the lasota they gave and every other thing they gave, production did not go up. Then I started asking questions. During the post-mortem examination, I noticed some lesions in the esophagus of the birds. And from what I know in pathology, I knew that this had to do with vitamin A deficiency. So I started asking them questions. I said, can I see a sample of your premix? They said, yes. They brought sample to me. All I did was, I tried to perceive it. I found out that it did not have any aroma. It just be like a lubo. You know this thing where they take do amala. You don't get any aroma. You know, if you open a bottle of multivitamin syrup and you try to perceive it, how is the aroma? Very nice. His premix had nothing that pointed towards presence of vitamins. I said, is this the premix you are using? He said, yes. I shook my head. He was scared. He now told me that they have another one that just brought today. I said, go and bring that one. When he brought it, I smelled it again. It was 0. I shook my head. He was scared. I said, my friend, This is the reason why your production will never go up. Go and redraw all the feeds, bags of feed you have in the pens. Take it back to your feed mill. And I called a particular fellow who was supplying genuine premixes, layer premix. I said, please come and supply premix to them on this farm. You will use this new premix and remix it with that same old feed and start serving your birds. Ladies and gentlemen, within 5 days, that pen that I said their production had nosedived to 555 from 222 crates. The production, they called me back and told me it had crossed 200 crates already. We didn't do any magic. Only the premix will change. What I'm trying to say is this. There's fake premix in town. There's fake methionine. In fact, fake limestone too. I have seen that one before. Production nosediving from 90% in a set of parent stock in Ibadan. From 90 to 40. Because the limestone they were using, unknown to them, was having only 11% calcium. It was an adulterated limestone. And it was supplied in large quantity. And they bought it. You know what it means? You are paying hundreds of thousands or millions to a supplier, and you never check the quality of the material you are using. Honestly, you are playing with fire. These are things we must avoid. Know where you buy. If you are making feed yourself, know where you get these things and check the quality of your raw materials. All this will impact negatively on your business. Remember, you are not into a hobby. Poultry business is not a hobby. It's a serious business. So whatever can affect your profitability, you run away from it. Profitability is not about numbers. You will tell me you have 10,000 birds. I will congratulate you. 10,000 birds. How many crates of egg are you able to get per day? What's your percentage production? If you have 10,000 birds and your percentage production is just 68, maybe you are just breaking even, and your birds are over 50 weeks of age. You are not in business. Somebody may have just 1,000, but is getting nothing less than 85% at 50, 55 weeks. That person is doing business. I hope you understand what I'm saying. That you have 10,000 birds does not make you to be profiting in that business. That's where I'm going. If you have a lower number, but you have very good performance, then you are in business. So it's more about the efficiency of your operation that matters, not the number. Let's quickly look at some of those things you need to know and you need to do to remain in profit. Number one, if you want to ensure profits in your poultry business, you must have a good understanding of the business. Whether it's broiler you want to raise or turkeys or whatever, have a good understanding. If possible, have hands-on experience. It's not just enough to be an investor. I remember one day, a particular man, he had invested a lot. When I say a lot, hundreds of millions of naira in his business. When he was starting his business, I was able to get some very good guys who were there as supervisors, and they started building up the farm. One day, he told me, he said, "Doctor, all these things you are teaching my boys, even me, I don't know. I want to know this formulation. I want you to teach me." I said, "Oh, guy, it depends on you. You're a big man now. You don't have time like small boys like us." He came to my office, spent 3 hours just to learn poultry formulation. If you are into this business, you need knowledge. It's not only the people who are working for you that should have that knowledge. Please, note this. You also need to draw out a business plan. You don't just jump into business like that. My friend is into broiler farming. Me too, I will do it. Because after 1 year of doing it, he bought a car. And so what? Hello? If you are looking at the car that he bought as an evidence of profitability, you might miss it. You need to have a business plan. Know what goes in and what comes out in that business. Know the key factors that lead to losses. For example, poor quality day-old chicks. If you are buying day-old chicks and you are not sure of the source, you might run into crisis. I always tell the story of a friend of mine. He bought 12,000 day-old chicks from a very popular hatchery, and within 2 weeks, 10,200 were dead. And what killed them? Aspergillosis. My friend never knew that it was fungal infection killing his birds. He was busy pumping antibiotics. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like, pump all the antibiotics and oncobiotics and all the biotics. As long as you don't know what you are dealing with, you're only wasting your resources. Meet those who will help you to diagnose that problem. Don't waste your money. Poor quality and quantity of feed and water. This can lead to losses. Rodent invasion. Soldier ant attacks. These are some of the things I've seen on farms. I know a farm in Ibadan. In one day, they killed over 1,000 rats. High level of parasites, endo or ectoparasites. Poor vaccination techniques. Pilfering. When people have several ways of stealing on a farm, they know how they will move the eggs out. The manager will not know. This can be a big source of problem. You must know how to block all these possible ways of losses. That's what we are trying to say there. Poor vaccination techniques. Let me sound a note of warning here. Hello? If anybody tells you he can vaccinate, don't just say yes, because the person is my friend, let him come and vaccinate. A particular farm somewhere in Anambra, I was called some years ago that they were having some high mortalities. And when I started carrying out the postmortem examination, I noticed something that was common to virtually all the layers. All of them, I noticed that their livers were damaged. And there was a white liquid on their liver, each of them. Then I asked a question. Did you people vaccinate these birds recently? They say yes. Which vaccine? Say we give 3-in-1. So I say, you thought you were giving intramuscular. This one are intraliver. The person who was injecting did not understand the basic anatomy of the chicken. If you have the breast muscle like this, and somebody did not inject at the upper portion of the breast muscle and is coming to the lower portion, the risk is high to hit the liver. That was what started killing their birds. They never knew. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Call professionals to do the right thing for you. Don't give to people who don't know what they are doing. How do you ensure profit in your poultry business? You must consistently carry out market surveys and have a good network for sales of what you produce on your farm. Don't limit yourself to just that locality. Have a good network. Know how you can push your eggs, your broilers to different locations. You need to be loyal to your egg buyers who are consistent during egg glut period and ensure that you establish what? Some of us, we only like to collect. You know, one drop. Hello? If your owner just to collect, you know, good. The farmers or the buyers will come from January to December. They are bringing their money. You are selling eggs. One day you should call them, maybe towards Christmas. You guys have been very good to me. Mr. A, you bought the highest number of crates of eggs from my farm. So you are having the first prize. So you are receiving your prize, prize A. The second person, second highest, prize B. The third person, prize C. And every other person will receive a consolation prize. You know that you don't do anything like that. Please, if you have not been doing it and you want your farm to grow and you want these people to keep coming, start practicing little things like this. It attracts profits. I'm telling you. Now, where possible, avoid credit sales, especially 100% credit sales. Don't tell me the person is your cousin. Your cousin can run away with your money. Abi a lie? They can disappear with your money. Even if now your church member or now your pastor, brother, may you not give them credit. Hello? May go report you to pastor. Are you following me? Because if wahala starts and your money hook and bank they chase you up and down, you think say pastor go say he won't help you with any money from tithe. Use your brain. Are you following me? Don't run yourself into trouble. Listen to feedbacks from your staff. This is where some MDs are having problems. They talk to everybody as if they are just slaves. I've seen the MD of a farm talking to his manager as if the manager was like a rat. The manager will try to explain something. He will say, shut up. I've been in this business for so and so period. And so what? Listen to people. When you get feedbacks from your staff, from customers, from neighbors, you act right and act promptly so that you can remain in business and have good profits. So how do we measure performance against standard? You can't measure your performance if you don't keep records. Somebody had talked about records here today. If you don't keep records, you are out of business. Now, what are those things that should be in your records on the farm? Number one, the pattern of growth of birds. Those of you who are broiler farmers, raise up your left hand. Just your left hand. Now, for those of you who are broiler, still raise it. For those of you who are broiler farmers, and you have a weighing scale, retain that left hand. Okay, I can see there are serious-minded people here. Thank you. If you don't have a weighing scale and you are just doing broiler business anyhow, you won't understand what I'm about saying. The pattern of growth is very important. The egg production record and the population of your birds, all this should be on your record. The frequency and the cost of mortality should also be on your record. If the chicken died as a result of pecking or stampeding, you won't go and put it there that chicken just died like that. Because if you say chicken just died, the next natural thing a farmer will think of is, I want to give what? Antibiotics. Antibiotics will not control stampeding, neither will it control cannibalism. Are you following what I'm saying? The nature of the mortality should be indicated in your record. The type of vaccines or medications administered should be there. The feed and water consumption, all this should be there. If you're a broiler farmer, in your records, you should try to have a column for standard so that by day old, when you weigh your broilers, you will know their average weight. Then by week 1, week 2, week 3, you'll be checking whether the weight of your broilers meets up with the standard weight for that age. This is very important because if you are falling behind, you need to work fast to ensure that you meet up. You need to find out, why is this so? Why am I losing weight of my broilers? Now, if you are into broiler farming or layer production, wow, I need to move fast. You see, they are warning you, Mr. Moses. They are warning you. Okay, let's see how we can move. In your records, it's very important, as I said, you need to have standard for feed consumption, body weight gain, livability. All these are very important. For broilers, if you are stocking broilers, let's say about 1,000, there are basic things you need to know. Number one, the weight at day old and the weight at day 7. The weight at day 7 should be, your target is that the weight at day 7 should be times 4 of the weight at what? Day old. That is your target. If you miss that natural growth pattern, you have missed a lot. I have seen some that within 1 week, broilers that came in maybe 40 grams, by the time they are 1 week, instead of weighing close to 150, 160 grams, they're just struggling with 120 grams. It tells us that something has gone wrong. So this is very important. This is part of the standard we need to have or we need to know. It's not responding. Can you just go to the next slide? Okay, it's slow. I can see. Thank you. Now, this table I'm showing you here, if you like, you can snap it. No wahala. It's a guide that will help. If you are a broiler farmer, if you look at it, at day old, you got 100 chickens. It is expected for a good livability, when they are around, let's say, 7 weeks, you should still have about 96% of your birds. That means in 100 birds, you shouldn't lose more than 4 when they have reached week 7. That is the standard. Secondly, when you are starting your birds, you can start them with broiler super starter mash. Hello? Now, the broiler super starter is richer than the broiler starter. And the broiler starter is richer than what? The broiler finisher. So what this is showing is that there's a sequence, a pattern that should be followed if you want to get good results. Now, on a normal pattern of consumption, on the average, your commercial broiler chick in the first week of life will take an average of 20 grams of feed per day. Actually, it will range between 10 to 27 because as it is growing, it will be eating more. But the average will be 20 grams per chick per day in week 1. So in the first week of life, this broiler will eat about 140 grams of feed. And we now have this weight of 160. If we subtract the weight at day old, you can now calculate the feed conversion ratio, which is 1.16, which is very good. One of the things that can help you to achieve this so that you won't be losing money through wastage of feed is to use feeders like this that can help you to conserve your feed. It will be very difficult for the birds to waste any feed. All the feed will be consumed by the birds. You won't have your feed spilling all over the place. That is one of the ways a lot of farmers lose money. You can have very good FCR of less than 2 for your broilers. Are you following what I'm saying? Hello? Now, broiler farmers, can anybody answer this question? If I say your FCR for your broiler should not be more than 2, what do I mean by that statement? Can anybody help? Please feel free. Don't be shy here. Huh? Can anybody help? That if we say the feed conversion ratio, FCR, for your broilers should not be more than 2.0. You can see that with the calculation I've done here, all these ones are not up to 2. The quantity of feed eaten all over the increase in weight gain within that period. Can anybody help me with that? If I say your FCR should not be more than 2, what do I mean by FCR of 2? That is what I'm even saying. Okay?
It means that 2 kilograms of feed should be less than 2 kilograms of feed to convert 1 kilogram body weight or 1 gram body weight.
How many of you understand what he has just said? Hello? Please clap for him. You got what I'm saying? It's not just clapping. Oga Moses, please come and give him something for pure water. Today, in fact, we're going to share pure water allowance, honestly. Aha. Thank you very much. If you like, don't answer my question. Just be looking at me. Eh? Hello? What we are saying is that your broiler you are keeping for up to 7 weeks, cumulatively from this table, we eat feed of about 5 kg. 5 kg feed, but we give you the weight of 2.5 or almost 2.6 kg body weight. 5 over 2.5, what will that give you? Hello? 5 divided by 2.5, is it not going to be 2? Now, when you have less than, let's say 5 divided by almost 2.6, your FCR will be 1.97. So what we are saying is that your FCR should not be more than 2.0. And for you to achieve this, feed efficiency is very important. Now, one of the things you also need to know is that your broiler super starter should have a crude protein of 25%. Unfortunately, some people will tell you they are producing super starter for you. If you are a wise farmer and you buy large quantity of such feed, once in a while, check whether what they are telling you is the truth or not. Hello? If they are telling you lies, it will reflect on your birds. Your broiler starter should have 23% crude protein, and your broiler finisher should have 21%. I have seen broiler super starter from a particular manufacturer. Instead of 25%, what I saw was 17%. And somebody is paying heavy money for that. And they are cheating the farmer. So it's important to know this. One of the things that can kill profitability in your poultry business, especially in broiler business, is when you are milling feed with soya that is of bad quality. If it's not well processed, it will result in a big problem. Can you help me, Mr. Okay, good. Can you see this? This may not make sense to some of us. I had to collect soybean meal from a farm where they told me that they make their own or they bought soya from a very good source. I noticed that the broilers were not growing. They didn't understand what I was saying, and I insisted that I should have their SBM. When I tested it in the lab, it failed completely. In fact, later on, the MD of that farm explained to me that they lost money worth about 10 million naira on that particular batch of broilers. Why? Very poor weight gain. They went to stockpile poor quality soya bean meal, which they were using. So avoid that kind of thing. Now, I've talked about the issue of the FCR not exceeding 2. What does it mean if we say that one broiler will cumulatively eat 5 kg of broiler feed to give you a weight of 2.5 kg? It means that in the first 4 weeks of life, one broiler chick will eat up to 1.7 kilogram of broiler starter or broiler super starter. Then, the remaining 3 weeks, it will consume broiler finisher cumulatively of 3.3 kg. When you combine the two, one broiler cumulatively from week 1 to 7, we eat 5 kg of what? Broiler feed. You can then use that to start calculating. I want to raise 100 broilers. How many bags of broiler starter will I need? How many bags of broiler finisher will I need? If that is what you have at the back of your mind, you can do that calculation. You must also be careful when you are feeding broilers. By the time they get to week 3, especially during very hot period, you suspend feeding at some point in time in the day. You do more feeding in the very early hours of the morning and very late in the evening. If they are supposed to take 2 bags of feed for that particular period, the 2 bags should be given early in the morning and late in the evening. I've seen where somebody committed an error and he lost about 600 birds because of this mistake. So if you are raising 1,000 commercial broilers up to 7 weeks of age with feed costing 7,600, some broiler feeds actually cost more than this. You will spend 1,520 naira to cumulatively feed a broiler to attain 2.5 kg body weight with 5 kg of feed. So the feed that chicken will eat for 7 weeks will be 1,000 what? 520 naira. How much do you sell live broiler here in Enugu? Live. Let's say 7 weeks on the average. How much? One. Hello? 3,000. That's good. Now, out of that 3,000 naira, remove 1,520. When you say 3,000, I said 7 weeks. If your chicken at 7 weeks has qualified to become pig and you sell it 3,000, it means at least you have close to 1,500 difference because the cost of the feed is going to be 1,520. But if you are keeping your broiler for just 6 weeks and you are interested in 2 kg, you are not interested in 2.5 kg, it would have eaten maximum of 4 kilogram cumulatively, and that will cost 1,216 naira. If you are keeping your broilers, you said you want to keep it till after Easter. That time it will be about 14 weeks old. Hello? I want to say something. I have no problem with that. But know that for every extra week, after week 6, if you are feeding them on the average at 150 grams of feed per pod per day, it means for every 1 week, each broiler will consume feed worth about 320 naira per week. Over a period of 2 weeks, it will take feed worth about 600 and what? 640 naira. So when it is 8 weeks old, instead of selling it at 6 weeks, you understand, you sold it at 8 weeks, it has consumed feed of extra 640 naira. When you are going to sell, you must incorporate that into your sales. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Now, this is very important. You also need to look at the cost of the day-old chick. Because if you don't consider the cost, you will be losing. At some point, it was 450 naira in Ogun State, but I learned a few days ago it had gone to 630 or so. You also consider the cost of medication and vaccination. Maybe 100 naira to 120 naira you spend per broiler on the average. Salaries, electricity bill, brooding materials, all these things you consider. Now, the current cost of broiler feed has doubled what it used to be in 2018. I have my records. And when I compared, I found out that the cost of broiler feed today is now times 2 of what it was in 2018. But has the price of broiler, has it doubled times 2? Hello? If it has not doubled the way you expect, it means you need to double your efforts at reducing your losses. Are we together? One of the major ways of reducing your losses is to avoid wastage of feed. I was pointing at this feeder. I know why I was pointing at it. A friend of mine who is a broiler farmer in Jos was sharing his experience with me. And this is the summary of what I want to say. He buys usually about 2,000 broilers, maybe once in a month. And I asked him, how much did you sell your last set of broilers? He told me something that was shocking. He said he does not sell each one more than 1,900. I said, how come? He said, well, he is a mass producer. He's not interested in too much profit. He has a lot of market for his own broilers. That if he makes 300 naira per broiler with good livability, for him it is okay. I said, how were you able to achieve it? He said the last set of broilers he raised, cumulative feed consumption for each of them on the average was just 3.3 kilogram. I was amazed. 3.3. Of which at week 6, the maximum should be 4 kg. That means he was able to save about 700 grams. Are we together? 0.7 kg. Multiply it by 2,000. That's a lot of feed and a lot of money. So he was able to avoid excessive use of feed. Why? He does not keep his broilers for more than 6 weeks. 5-6 weeks, he has sold most of them. Those that are males amongst them, by week 5, they would have crossed to about 2 kg body weight. So the economics of that man is different from some other people in Jos who would prefer to keep their own chicken till 8 weeks. And we tell you that come and buy this one, 3,005. Hello? For those people, they may not keep more than 100 chicken, but they will sweat and sweat looking for people to come and buy the 100 chicken. Whereas this man has ready-made market. Once they are ready, he just signals to the buyers and they come to pick them in large quantity. Now, another way he makes profit, not just by reducing the quantity of feed or avoiding wastage and harvesting his broilers early on time, and he has a good market. He also ensures that all the litter he gets, he will pack the whole thing. He says if he stocks about 2,000, by the time he's harvesting his broilers, he can get up to about 10 kg of 10 bags of the litter. And the 10 bags, each one about 100 kg, he will make 7,000 on each one. So extra 70,000 naira from shit money. You agree that shit money is not chicken change, though? There's money in shit. Are we together? There's money in chicken shit. In Jos, a bag of it is 7,000. Last year, November, when I wanted to do some potato cultivation, the guy who was assisting me got each bag for 6,000 naira. Between November and now, the thing has entered 7,000. And we are entering the planting season. So it's a lot of money. And what he also does to further reduce his losses is to ensure that the maize farmer who wants to buy poultry manure from him gives him maize at a lower cost. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's a very smart guy. He gets maize at a lower cost. He sells the poultry manure to them, and he has very good market for his broilers. The maize he uses, actually, he uses it on his layer farm. For the broiler, he uses finished feed. That was what he told me. So it's important we know some of these things. Now, I will need that video now. The video. Some people, because they feel that, look, we need to make more profit from this broiler. How do we make more profit? Let's look at this small video. Some people make money from selling parts of the chicken instead of the whole. Let's take a look at this. You can double click it. Is that not it? Can't it show on the presentation too? Double click the one on the presentation. Hello? You see what is happening here? This is evisceration. They are removing the intestine from these broilers. They have a way of selling the intestine to some catfish farmers. But look at what they are doing. They are using a defeathering machine, a small one. They can defeather more than 1,000 broilers a day if they are using this, depending on how soon they start the process in the morning. You can see the defeathering. Somebody is removing just the remaining few feathers there. These are the ones that were slaughtered. And look at the birds. This blood meal is not wasted. If you have a pig farm, you can convert that into extra feed. There's a way you can incorporate it into their feed. So let's move on. Let me say a few things on pullets, and then we'll fire on. We'll look at that of the economics of pig farming, and then we'll stop there. Move on, please. Move on. Okay, sorry. Let me. Can you help me scroll from there? Well, on that of pullets, while he is working on this, I asked some time ago that how many of us are into layer production? If you are here and you have had your layers giving you up to 90 to 95% in the last 1 year, can I see your hands up? There's nothing artificial. This is normal chicken, not be this thing. 90 to 95%. None. Good. Let me now tell you a story if you want to achieve that kind of thing before they get it up. There is this farmer I told one day, I said, sir, you've been in this business for years, I think for close to 30 years. I said, I want us to change some of the things you've been doing. And then he said, like what? I said, when you get the birds from the hatchery, I will do a day-old chick screening. And then when we do the screening, we'll be able to guide you on the vaccines, the drugs, and everything you need to use. Because if they come with an infection from the hatchery, we'll be able to detect that early enough, you understand, and then know what to do. This is the day-old chick screening I'm talking about. I was doing something like this sometime last week, Monday, in Jos, for a farmer at our poultry and fish clinic. We will take blood from the heart. With the blood, we will be able to know the level of protection they have against Newcastle disease, against Gumboro disease, and we can draw out a vaccination program. That was what I did for this Baba more than 10 years now. And I told him that every week that I'll be coming to check the weight of your pullets. I gave them a program, what the weight should look like, week by week. The quantity of feed that should be eaten per bird, per day, for every week. I indicated everything. And I said, your manager should be the one to implement this. And I told the guy, if you can do this thing for me, I will drop something for you. He said, I said, okay, no problem. And the guy started. Week by week, I was monitoring those birds. Do you know that when these birds started laying, by the time they got to 27 weeks of age, their production hit 90%. By the time they entered 35 weeks, the production rose to 95%. Then I now noticed that from that week 27, they were giving me 90% and above continuously until week 47. How many weeks be that? Hello? 27 to 47. How many weeks? 20 what? Which is how many months? 5 good months. Go and check ISA. Even ISA standard. That one beat it. This was in Ijebu-Ode in Nigeria, not England. Are you following what I'm saying? It started from the beginning. We were following their weight. Let me tell you what we did. If your day-old chicks come and they are 35 grams a day old, by week 1, they should enter 65 grams. That should be your target. Because if they don't meet up in terms of the body weight, you are going to have some crisis in the future. What is the crisis? They will not come into egg production on time. I have seen farmers that keep lamenting, doctor, my chickens are 23 weeks old. They've been eating and eating. I've not seen a single egg. How you go see egg? You don't follow the right standards. And if by week 12 you hit 1 kg, you're on the path to fly. That's what it means. Your target by week 12 should be 1 kg. Those of you who like buying point of lay from different places, if somebody tells you he wants to sell point of lay to you and they are 16 weeks old, ask him this question. What is the weight of your 16-week-old pullet? If the person cannot talk, he may end up selling nonsense to you. Because what he is selling to you may be 16 weeks old, but may end up having the weight of 11 weeks. What does that mean? It means you are 5 weeks behind when you are supposed to start enjoying their egg production. Are you following what I'm saying? So if you are buying point of lay, these are things you must know. The quantity of feed that should be taken, all these are also broken down here clearly. Now, if you want very good egg production, your chickens will need 14 to 16 hours of both natural and artificial light. It means that by the time it's getting to evening, between 7 and 10 or 10:30 p.m., you give them light. They can finish up their feed, drink more water, and you have better number of eggs. So one of the very key things, if you are here and somebody calls you, please, can you help me to plan what amount I will need? I want to borrow money from cooperative. I want to raise 1,000 chicken. I want to do them from day old. You will let him know that the major thing that will consume money is what? Feed. Are you following me? 1 day old pullet will need to start feeding from day old. Between day old and week 8. Thank you. I will be fast now. It will require 1.8 kg of chick mash, which means if you are raising 1,000 pullets, 1.8 times 1,000 will be 1,800 watts. 1,800 watts kg of feed for 8 weeks to raise them. For growers, it will need cumulatively, it will feed and consume 5 kg of grower mash between week 9 and 19 of age. This is very important so that you can do your calculation. And from week 20 to week 25, when the chickens will begin to produce enough eggs that can buy their feed per day, it will need about 4.62 kg of layer mash, assuming you want to target it towards that side, that period. So you can calculate this. With this simple calculation I have done here, 1,800 kg of chicks mash is 72 bags of 25 kg. And that at this cost of 6,800, it will mean 495,000 naira for the first 8 weeks. For grower, it will be 1.1 million for week 9, for the 5 tons, week 9 to week 19. By the time you put these two together, it means for me to raise the chicken up to week 19 from day old, I will spend money on feed per chick, 1,630 naira on feed for every day old chick till 19 week. How many of you understand what I've just said? Hey, if you can't understand this, I don't know how to help you. I mean, by day old to 19 weeks, the cost of the feed that the chicken will eat to grow to 19 weeks for one chicken is 1,600 and what? 30 naira. So those people who are selling point of lay to you, they are in business. How much is your point of lay now? 2.4. Okay, let's assume he's spending money on vaccinations. That one will go past 150 naira per chicken. Add it to 1,630. So let's assume you are not even spending more than 1,800 or 1,009. And the person is selling it to you at 2.4. He might go make his own profit. No be so. He's paying salary to some people. So this is just the simple way to understand this. Now, if you want to reduce losses, if your birds are getting to about 45 weeks, and you find out that some of them are not producing, they are kept in cages, it's very easy to spot those cages. 4 chickens are in a cage, you are seeing only 1 egg for the past 1 week. Mark that cage. What did I say? Mark it. You go there one day. There's a way you can check to know those that are laying. If you don't know how to do it, get a professional that can help you. They will separate those ones that are not laying. If the space between the pubic bone is so narrow that it's taking only 1 finger, as if na a cock, you go know say this one is just a chop feed. If your chicken they chop feed and they don't give you egg, every day it swallows 30 naira of your money and it's not giving you 1 egg. 30 naira. If you multiply it by 100, how much is that? 3,000 naira. If 3,000 naira goes off every day because of chicken that refuse to give you egg, multiply that 3,000 times 30 days. Almost 100,000 you are losing. And you won't know where your money is going. You can call this kind of birds, sell them off, so that you can maximize your profit. You can do this when your birds are caged. What are the killers of profit? Number 1, pilfering. Control stealing on your farm. Whatever you can do to control stealing, please control. Number 2, aflatoxicosis. It kills production. If you are milling your feed yourself and you don't use toxin binder in the feed, you're on your own. Please be wise. Don't run into this kind of crisis. I know a farmer who told me that this thing is actually a spiritual problem. He told me not to waste my time. He said, Dotun, kini ikonshoju lasan. He told me that there were some neighbors in the village who were the ones behind this problem. I said, Thank God he now finally listened to my advice. He was making his feed using wet maize. I did the analysis of the maize, and I found out that the maize was growing very serious mold. How can your chickens do well when they are eating this kind of thing? The man finally listened. Within 5 days, his production started coming up again. And he now realized that it was not a spiritual problem. It was just ignorance. What is this? How many of you know what I mean by Marek's disease? You must know this thing. No? Hello? Make you know they are ashamed now. Raise your hand. If you know Marek's, just raise your hand. Okay. Marek's is an example of chicken cancer. What did I say? What did I say now? May you never experience it in Jesus' name. You see, now say amen now. Good. That's a prayer point. You can take it home. But to avoid problem of Marek's, let me tell you something. According to textbook, if Marek says sin, those birds are goners. I mean, it's like they are wasted. Just wipe them off. That's what textbook tells us. But over the years, we find out that it doesn't work that way. The way things work for us and the way God has helped us, I've been able to handle so many cases of Marek's through revaccination in the midst of outbreak. Some of my colleagues who are veterinary doctors say, no, it's not possible. I don't blame them. Now, waiting they teach us for school. But when you are taught in school, you can reteach yourself. Am I communicating? Reteach yourself. I've seen farmers who had invested over 100 million naira into their flock, and they came to me with this problem. And they were shocked. I said, there's a solution. They followed this thing, and they came out of it. There are procedures we follow. I don't have details to go into all that today. You can come out of it. What will be this one? May it never be your portion in Jesus' name. My friend is already standing. So I will be fast because of him. Now, let me say something. In Jos, we are still experiencing a few pockets of outbreak of avian influenza. In the last few weeks, out of about 20 cases, I remember, we're only able to manage to save about 6 flocks. To manage the outbreak such that we didn't allow it to explode. What I mean is that mortalities did not exceed 20% of the flock. Right now, government is not compensating. So even if you go and report yourself, they won't give you 1 kobo. And I will tell the farmer, it's up to you. We'll confirm it. If you want to make noise for them to come and wipe the remaining one, now you sabi. But if you can follow the instruction we give, we'll kill this thing, and then you can manage the remaining one until when they are spent. We've been able to help a few farmers that way. But beyond that, let me tell you, for those who want to remain in this business and they are investing heavily, they cannot do without vaccinating. Food and Agric Organization supports vaccination, but the Nigerian government is still sitting on the wall. They have neither agreed nor are they really disagreeing. And me, I go tell you, say, I get farmers who be saying, my party them be. And I told them, you better vaccinate. They got their birds vaccinated, and their birds are still well protected. There's a way we get it done. But when you don't depend on vaccination alone, your biosecurity must be strong. That is all I will say on AI. Newcastle disease is a very bad guy. I told you what it has done to some farms. It can waste somebody's investment. If your chicken drink nonsense water and they eat nonsense feed, they will lay nonsense what? Egg. And that will be nonsense profit. Do you understand my analogy? Let me advise you. If you don't want to see crisis on your farm, ensure that the microbial quality of your water is superb. I know a farm somewhere in Delta States. Isele Uku, or what do you call that area? A vet doctor called me one day and said, Doctor, we are losing chickens, seriously. When I got there, I saw a heap like this, like a small hill of dead chickens in just the first pen. Every day in that first pen, they lose over 200 chickens per day. And I asked the general manager, Oga, when last did you wash your overhead tank? The man was just doing like this. He could not give me an answer. I said, okay, give me the water from the nipple, from the tank, and from the borehole. To cut the story short, the following day, when I did the analysis, the result came out. The microbial load was explosively high. We could not count the bacterial colony. And I told him that from your nipple drinker, you need to deslime the water lines. Each day, they were losing over 200 layers in the first pen. They actually stocked 32,000. As at the time I got there, it was remaining 18,500 birds from 32,000. Bad water quality is one of the main killers of profit, I tell you. All the kidneys of the chickens I opened were already condemned. When this man did the desliming, he told me something. He said, Doctor, we were shocked. Brown, black, green masses were coming out of the pipes. And what shocked him further was that same day, they did it overnight under darkness, based on the instruction I gave. The following day, all through, the total mortality was no more than 21 or so, compared to over 200 per day. Without antibiotic, they only deslimed the water line and the mortality crashed. If your chickens drink nonsense and they eat nonsense, they will do what? They will lay nonsense. Now, on a normal pig farm, there are 4 classes of pigs you should have. If you are smart, snap some things you are going to see. You have newborn piglets, winners, market pigs, and the breeder herd. My colleague had talked about some of those things earlier on swine. Now, what are those indicators of profitability? Number one, good fecundity or fertility of the sows. Number two, good litter size. I'm going to give you examples from a particular farm that I helped to start in Ogun State. This one is not theory. These are data I got from the manager just a few days ago. Now, on their farm, they actually they have land raised and they have large whites. You need to have a good growth with a target weight of 60 to 65 for the growers, maximum of 6 months of age, and farrowing rate of up to 3 times a year. How many of you have pigs that can produce up to 3 times a year? This was the same thing. 3 times in a year? Okay. Now, that is very important. Why am I saying this? Most farms, maximum 2. And the reason why some of these things happen is because of the management pattern. It is not just even the number of times, but how many. Like on that farm, it's a normal thing for one sow to produce 14 piglets because they got very good pure breed of the land race and the large whites. Now, nutrition is very key. What is it that they do on this farm? This is where I'm going. And I'm giving you the freedom to snap so that you can grab the information and learn something. Let me say this, ladies and gentlemen. They are piglets. By the time they are weaning them, the average weight is 9.5 kg at 4 weeks of age. Hello? That is the average. So by the time they wean them, the next 3 weeks, they are going to place them on creep feed. The formulation for that creep feed, actually, it was one of the formulations I gave them for layer mash that they did some manipulation on it and they are using it as their creep feed. Do you understand what I'm saying? So they give the creep feed undiluted, straight, for 3 weeks and at 0.5 kg per pig. So for 10, if it's 0.5 kg and it's going to be for 21 days, 3 weeks, that will be 10.5 kg per winner will be consumed of that feed. The feed costs 246 naira per kg, and for the 10.5 kg, that will be 2,589 naira for one piglet in the first 3 weeks of feeding it. From week 8 to week 14, they use a grower ration for 7 weeks at 1.5 kg per pig per day. What is the constitution of their grower ration? They use 40% of the creep feed plus 60% of brewery waste. 1.5 kg per day, continuously for 49 days. That is 73.5 kg of pig feed. This 73.5 kg costs 155 naira per kg. So they will spend 11,000 naira, 11,400 naira on the grower feed for one pig to raise it to that level for a period of 7 weeks. Like I said, week 8 to week 14. So from week 15 to 24, the finisher ration will be given for 10 full weeks at 2.5 kg per day per pig. The ration cost consists of 20% of that creep feed plus 80% of brewery waste. No PKC myself here. No fruit or waste of fruit or anything. Just pure feed. For 70 days, this with the cost at 129 naira per kg, it will cost 24,000, almost 24,500 for one pig. The range of body weight within 5 to 6 months is 60 to 65 kg. That's what they achieve. And one pig would have cumulatively consumed 259 kg of feed from the creep feed to the grower to the finisher. And the cost of this feed per pig is 38,000 naira 371. So with miscellaneous expenses of 2,000 naira, you'll be spending 40,000 naira to raise that pig from day old to about 60-65 kg. The live weight in Ogun State is 850 naira per kg, while pork is 1,600 naira per kg. On the average, from the data he gave me, they do have about 11.5 to 12 kg increase every month per pig in terms of the increase in weight. So when you do that calculation, it costs 40,371 for feed, and you are selling that pig at 51,000 naira. That is the amount they sell it. They have a gross profit of 10,600 naira from one pig. If 10 pigs survive in a litter and you're able to keep them within that period, your profit for 10 pigs raised from a litter will be 106,290 naira using feed. Now, what are the things that kill profit in swine farming? Number one, poor nutrition. Don't feed nonsense kind of thing to your pigs. Get good quality, high quality pigs. Very important for good conversion. I am glad he gave an example of poor quality pigs, poor feed conversion. You need to ensure that there is no poor biosecurity and disease outbreak like African swine fever. This can kill the profits. From experience, if we see cases of African swine fever, there's a way we manage it to reduce the mortality. We don't just surrender and leave the thing to be spreading like that. One of the things that make African swine fever to spread fast is the use of wallows. How many of you have wallows on your farm? Don't be shy now. Talk now. More talk through. Oh yeah. Wallow in the pig farm. Pig farm. That place where they go enter, they go to play inside like this. Pig farm. Okay, thank you. Now, what I'm trying to say is that that thing can make disease to spread easily. Because from the urine, the sick one will pass out the virus. Another one will go and drink that water, and the virus will spread. To avoid that, there are certain things you need to do. Make sure you use what? Hello? We should use what? Get a plumber. Buy nipple drinkers from my colleagues here. Get a plumber to fix it on your farm. The pigs will go there, they will drink their water. You won't have the issues coming up. You understand? Then, another thing that can kill profit is poor mothering abilities of some sows. Some sows, they eat their piglet, cannibalism. Some will sleep on the piglets and cause high mortality. To avoid this, you need what I'm showing you here, a farrowing crate. This sow, as it is, cannot sleep on its piglet because this farrowing crate restrains its movements. Do you understand what I'm saying? It can either stand or lie down. Anytime it lies down, the piglets will go and take milk. Anytime it stands, it can take its feed. But it cannot lie down on any piglet or catch anyone and start eating. So this is a very strong advantage of using a farrowing crate on a farm. So any wise livestock farmer that will receive this information and run away from anything that will rob him or her of desired profit is only a wise farmer that will do that. God bless you.